These are tips for Rhythm 1 of the workbook. I'm going to be starting each one of these rhythms with you, and I expect you to do the first line. I'm going to do the first line for you, and then I expect you to perform the first line and figure out the rest of the rhythm for your submission. We're going to be using the ta and clap method. There's a previous video explaining that, and I'm really going to push. It's required of the in-class people, and the first time I went through this with the online sessions, we said it was optional, but I'm really going to kind of push that it's more required than optional, because it's something that you really want to be able to do. It makes simple rhythms a little bit more involved than they need to be. But if you can do this method, one, it's kind of like an extra level of knowing the rhythm. If there's 4 levels of knowing a rhythm, I say that the first level is kind of just knowing what these symbols mean. The second level is being able to kind of say, okay, that's long, and that's kind of shorter and shorter and long. The third level is being able to do it in time with a good sense of internal pulse. And the fourth level is being able to do it with this ta and clap method. So level 3 is sufficient. Level 4 means you know it really, really well, and you can go beyond what is just sufficient. Now, the reason to be able to do it the ta and clap method is because later, way later, if you look at the back of the book, there are some really complicated rhythms. And if you know the ta and clap method and you're fluent at it, it actually makes those very complicated rhythms very easy. So let's explain how you would do the ta and clap method with this first line. First of all, we're going to ta. We're going to account for every beat with either a ta or a clap. Okay. The second rule is that we never ta and clap at the same time. And what that means is we'll never initiate a ta and clap at the same time. We'll never go ta. We'll never say ta and clap exactly at the same time. We might hold a note over and clap while we're holding the note. Ta. We might do that, but we'll never ta and clap initially at the same time. The third rule has to do with beat divisions, which won't come into place till later when we have beats that are divided. And we have to always ask ourselves, is the beat divided? And then we have to, that rule says, is the beat divided? Then we have to account for whatever this is the smallest division used within that beat. So you might hear me say that a few times throughout these first several rhythms, but it won't come into play until later, until we do eighth notes. Alright, so this first line actually has no time signature and no meters, but we have underlying beats, quarter note, quarter note. Each one of these quarter notes is representing a beat. We are going to ta for every note up here that we see, and we will clap if there are rests, which there are none, or it will clap if there's a beat that we're already taing through. So for example, we're going to ta here as the start of the note. We're going to hold that note through, and we're going to clap here at marking where this beat happens while we're holding it through. We'll ta, ta, and then we'll ta here, and then we'll clap here and here while we're holding this note through. We'll ta, ta, we'll ta here, and we'll clap on each one of these beats as they go through. Excuse me. All right, so it's very important that we established a tempo. You might practice and even perform these with a metronome if you like. It is not important to go quickly. It's important to go steady. You can go very, very slow, and the more complicated the rhythms become later on in the book, the slower and slower we will be going, as the ta and clap method will require that. So here we go. Let's do this first line. I'll do it once. You can rewind the video and go along to make sure that you're getting it the right way. Establish your tempo. This is going to be my quarter note pulse. As long as you're steady, the speed does not matter, but it is important to be steady, so think of the pulse that you're going to be doing. Shoot, and here we go. Ta, 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 ta. And I snap to show the end of that line. Preferably, you'll be doing all of Rhythm 1 line after line after line till the end. If you find that you're having lots of trouble getting it accurately, one, you have several chances because you're recording this to submit it. But two, if you're having lots of trouble, you can stop at the end of the line, snap to show where the note ends, and start with the second line. But try to do the whole thing.